Nora wrote into me. Nora said, is cheating in a relationship objectively bad if both people know about it and are okay with it? So this could be handled a couple of different ways. There are those who have a sort of, I guess, religious understanding of marriage, which is typically cherry picked from a particular text and not representative of everything that particular religion may have ever said about marriage. I don't know which religion I might be alluding to. It could be any, I guess. But anyway, they would say, Lewis, that no, marriage is a very specific thing. It involves maybe a man and a woman only, and it involves no sex outside of marriage. Anything other than that is morally wrong. I don't subscribe to that. I think marriage is a completely human-created entity. I think that there are arguments to be made for the sort of natural drift to monogamy or not monogamy. What's the opposite of monogamy, Lewis?
Polygamy.
Polygamy, right. I can't believe I forgot that. So I think that there's sort of a naturalistic argument to be made for either. It's sort of arbitrary the way we've set up society. I believe that the only way to argue that cheating is, and even the term cheating is a term that implies something. I guess what we're talking about is sex outside of a particular relationship. The only way to argue that it is objectively bad or immoral or whatever would be if you can say with certitude that it does negatively impact the people or others involved, could be children, whoever else, regardless of what the setup is. But Lewis, why would I have a problem if you have a couple, and we know couples like this, if you have a couple who says, hey, you know what, we're sort of like in our primary relationship here, but we're both sort of allowed to, within the constraints of the relationship, do whatever we want and be with other people. Why is that objectively bad? I mean, maybe you could come up with data that explains why it's objectively bad, but I have no problem with it if that's what people want to do.
When I read the question, I thought to myself, well, if both people know about it and are okay with it, then it's not cheating.
Yeah. So I guess really the question is like sex outside of the relationship.
Adultery.
Adultery. I think that's the question.
I think we can say objectively that cheating is bad if the person does not, one of the people does not know about it.
If it's by definition cheating.
If it's by definition cheating, that's bad. If there's adultery happening and that's okay with both parties and it's agreed upon, whatever. We certainly don't have any religious objections to that or moral ones. I mean,
that was going to be my question.
If there's an understanding and that's the agreement, so be it.
Do I think people are bad? You know, hear about politicians who have an understanding, right, with their significant others, where, yes, this is our relationship and this is good for us politically and career-wise to sort of be presented as this relationship, but really we have sort of other interests and whatever, and, you know, house of cards or call it whatever scenario you want to talk about. Yeah, I mean, we could, I'm sure, make arguments as to why it is negative in some ways. There's no question that those arguments could be made. But if it's what individuals want to do, I can't see any reason to try to restrict or say that it is objectively a bad thing. That's where I am on it. I don't know what would change my mind.
Yeah, for some people, they won't be able to handle that decision,
right.
And it will be a problem. Others, I'm sure, probably love it, maybe even enjoy it, the thought of that type of thing. And for them, I'm sure it works quite well.
All right. Yeah, you've heard it from Lewis. That is an answer to Nora's question. Great questions this week from the Eggman, as well as from Brittany and from Nora. We have a terrific bonus show coming up for you today. davidpakman.com/membership is how you sign up. Remember that this program is not funded by big corporations or media conglomerates, but rather mostly by you, our viewers and our podcast and radio audience. So consider signing up. Get all of the benefits at davidpakman.com/membership.